Hello friend, thanks for joining me for another video blog. Today I'm here talking to you from heart to heart, not from a coach to a student. Really sharing a video to connect with you. Once in a while I really like to share with you what my journey has been. If you follow me on Facebook, you're gonna notice that not appearing there too much since this pandemic. When this pandemic started, I was very active on social media, and actually I showed up there on Facebook Lives. I helped a lot of people. And then as the pandemic went on, I did not like the person I was becoming on social media. I was just contributing to more anger with myself, anger towards others, and I was being part of like the more, creating more separation. So I haven't been on Facebook much. If you want to catch me these days, Instagram and also my Feed to Thrive page on Facebook is the best way to find me. So the beauty of not putting so much time on social media is that it opened up a lot of time for creativity and more energy in my life. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to talk about social media. I'm here to share with you a shift, an evolution that I have been experiencing this year. I think this year has been an invitation for a lot of us. First of all, a lot of us were probably already going through some type of personal life change or personal crisis. I separated from my partner, and I separated, and that was hard. There's always a heartbreak involved on both parts, actually. It doesn't matter who leaves, who is left. So I was dealing with that. And on top of that, the pandemic happened. So it has been a year of a lot of contrast, right? And the beauty of contrast is when we experience pain, there is an instant answer to what we need. If you look at a coin, one side is the pain and it's that contrast, and if you flip, there's an answer instantly of what might be the solution or your need, right? So I'm here to talk a little bit about that pain process that can really lead us to make have incredible breakthroughs, and we need some breakdowns before we have the breakthrough. And I think right now we are seeing a breakdown in our collective, breaking down of systems, political systems, government systems, health systems, physical health, right? If they're like people who are not healthy in our country especially are experiencing a lot of fear. They are experiencing the real risk of getting sick or even die because of this virus. So a lot of systems are breaking down. And what we're seeing right now is everything that has not been working. So I want to ask you today what's not working, but that's more towards the end of this video. First, I want to share with you a little bit of my experience. And I'm going to transform my experience into a moment of teaching here for you. Of course, I can help, but not teaching. I can't just share my story and not teach you something, because we're all one. What I experience in terms of pain, you all experience as well. Different experiences, different situations, of course. And at the end of the day, no matter where we're from, the color of our skin, or financial status, or any situation, we all experience fear, sadness, anger, hurt, shame, guilt, you name it. When it comes to emotions, we all experience, so we can connect through emotions. So let me share something that happened. I think a lot of you know some of my struggles as high achievers, and most of you are that watch my videos. I am myself. Being a high achiever is a gift in a sense that we have this internal drive, motivation, vision, passion. We are goal setters, goal getters, right? We don't need anybody to tell us to do things because we're pretty self-motivated, disciplined. So that's the gift. the curse that comes from that is that we try to also make things happen, like in a way, like we want to force things to happen. We want to accelerate the process of getting results fast, and then we get the result and we want more. We love achieving. It's part of our DNA. It's just what makes us happy, right? As high achievers. And again, that's a gift and that's a curse as well, because as high achievers, a lot of times we are tying our self-worth and our happiness to our achievements. And I'm writing a whole book about this. And also what happens from that place of high achievement, we operate with very strong masculine energies, right? The drive, the motivation, that fire, go make things happen, and we are missing the feminine energies, right? So that on the side for now, I want to talk to you about how as high achievers, we need to learn how to surrender. When I started my business 5 years ago, I was seeking desperately for a book that could teach me the art of go and let go, of do and let it be, right? I didn't find that in any book, so I'm writing the book, of course. But let me walk you back a little bit about how I came to this point of like, so how for the first time I embodied the concept of surrendering and connecting, listening to our hearts. It has been a journey, even working with a teacher for a couple of years on this topic of, when I talk about connect with the heart, I'm really talking about spirituality. When I mention spirituality here, it's not necessarily affiliated to any religion, even though it can be, a connection with the beloved heart, a connection with God, the source, the field, whatever you want to call. It's just this connection with a higher power that we all have. And because my mission in life is to help as many people as I can to unleash their true powers, this is one of the reasons I'm having this conversation with you. But amongst my struggles, about 3 months ago, I was meditating, I was taking a bath. Hot water is a place that I can easily relax, and so it's a place I use to meditate a lot, and it's a place that I use also to check in. So as I was there in my bath in the hot water, dropping down, kind of quieting my mind, not empty the mind, forget that concept, but more quieting my mind so I could feel. I touched sadness, I touched disappointment, and it was a very familiar place to me. It's a place that anytime I got quiet, I touched was this deep sense of disappointment with my life, myself really, had nothing to do with anybody, but this disappointment that I was always trying so hard, working so hard, reading so much, studying so much, pushing so much, showing up in greatness and excellence every day. And yet, the results were good. They were okay. This is just to show that you can show up in greatness and excellence every day and still not get the results you want. And that has been a big lesson for me. And I'm going to get deeper here. So at that moment when I was in that place of surrender, right, in the hot water, no place to go, no phones, no distractions, no social media, no TV, nothing, I decided to connect with my heart, with the beloved heart, with this true power that we all have. And I asked a question. I asked courage. Courage is a big word for me. Courage is the most important virtue in my life. So at that moment, I remember I asked this question. Courage, what would you say to me right now? What would you tell me right now, based on that place of deep disappointment, sadness that I was feeling, and again, a very familiar place for me, in this journey of the last 5 years. And this is what I heard. Drop your agenda. And I'm like, and I'm not talking about anything like crazy. No, I was not drinking. I was not on psychedelics. I was not in any drug. That was just the proof that when we get quiet and connect with this source that is all around us, and the portal to this source is the heart. When we truly let go and we ask and we pause in silence, we hear the answer. So the answer was drop your agenda. So I took that seriously. That hit me very strongly. And I'm like, drop your agenda. And then I heard again, I dare you to drop your agenda. And you want to get the attention of a high achiever, all you have to say are these words, I dare you. And I heard that, drop your agenda. And what that meant to me at that moment was, first of all, admitting that my way was not working. And I had that moment a couple years ago, and I thought I changed the way, but apparently I was still very much into that strong masculine energy of the high achiever. Make it happen, do more, right? The concept of be more, as much as I was practicing and understood intellectually, I was still learning. And that's the process it takes. We need sometimes to sit for a long time with an intellectual understanding until it crosses the analytical mind and we start understanding our heart. And we don't really understand until we start practicing. We need to practice the art of getting quiet, being in silence, and asking powerful questions. So that's where the work comes. So at that moment that I heard drop your agenda, what it meant to be, I had a full understanding what that was. And the understanding was drop your agenda, meaning drop your beliefs around success, drop your beliefs around achievement, drop your expectations, and drop your learnings. All these learnings that you see right behind me here, like 300 books, and there are a lot of great books, and a lot of books about, teaching how to be successful, how to be a great entrepreneur, how to be a great coach, how to make a lot of money, all that stuff that we call success. I read all the books. I took the courses. And so dropping the agenda for me was unlearn everything right now. So there's that saying, it's a Zen philosophy about always having the beginner's mind. And I finally get it. Again, we know so much intellectually, and not until we surrender and take a good look in our lives and connect with our heart, that's when we truly start embodying some of these concepts and living them with much less effort. So the beginner's mind, it's about unlearn so you can create room to learn. So that moment for me was that moment of dropping everything I learned and then asking the question, another question, what is it for me to learn now? What do I need to learn right now? Who is my teacher? And my teacher now, it's my beloved heart. I think a lot of us do this, and because I'm sharing a story here about myself, my own journey, I will tell you that during the reflection, on a couple of days after that moment of drop your agenda message, was a realization that I had abandoned my heart. And that's the danger, the curse also of a high achiever. We start operating so much with our intellectual mind that we abandon the source of the highest level of intelligence, which is our heart. Our heart is the portal to this field. You can call it the quantum field. You can call the force, like Star Wars. You can call the infinite field, infinite potential, whatever you want to call, God, angels, I don't care what you call, but we can't deny there's tremendous source of information available to us all the time, which is infinite. Look at the potential of the universe. So in order to access this infinite knowledge, this wisdom, is through our heart. So at that moment, I realized that I no longer need to seek for a teacher outside myself. I will always work with teachers. They're always amazing people who have walked this path and are a few miles ahead of me that can teach me. Just like I teach my clients. To teach my clients is because I'm 1 or 2 miles ahead of them, so I can teach them the process. And I also have a coach, have a teacher. The lesson really is, right now, the teacher that you need to listen and learn from the most is your own heart, because you abandoned your heart years ago and it's time for you to come back home. And I'll tell you, there has been many days since that day that I am absolutely awe. I'm humble. I have so much more reverence for life right now, because since that day, I've been devoted. The new word for me now is not discipline, it's devotion. Because discipline can be rigid. So I replace discipline for devotion. The devotion of sitting with my heart 30 minutes to an hour every day and asking, what do you need? What you need to say? And my experience have been incredible. If to share them all, it would take hours and hours. So I just want to share that. If you follow me on Instagram, you notice the tone of my messages are different. The focus is different. The energy in what I share is different. Life has been so much happier and joyful and fulfilled in the last 2-3 months since that moment. I feel wealthy. And not that my bank account has changed that much. It has changed, actually. You know, there's more abundance coming because of the stage that I'm living. And it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with the sense that we achievers are constantly chasing. We're chasing love. We're chasing peace of mind. We're chasing fulfillment. And it's all right here. So my invitation for you here is, if you sit in silence and ask your heart, what are you longing for? Do you have the courage to ask, what are you longing for? Pause, ask, what is my heart longing for? And what is your answer? And you might ask, what does that mean, Alex, surrendering to my heart? Well, number one, before we get there, is to do this exercise. I'm going to give you 2 exercises that you want to grab a journal, not just think about it. You want to grab a journal. If this video is resonating with you, I'm going to give you the exercise, and I'm going to ask you to take the time today to do this exercise. Because, you know, it takes work. To make changes, it takes work. Yes, there's surrender involved, and then there's some work involved. So the work I want to encourage you to do is to answer this question first. Number 1, what is not working in your life? What's not working? Look at the primary areas of your life, right? We have career. Money is affiliated to career. We have relationships. We have family. We have our health. We have spirituality and personal growth, right? So when you look at these areas, what is not working for you? Just very simple to answer this question. Look at what area wakes you up every night. When you wake up 2-3 o'clock in the morning or first thing in the morning, what is not working? What sucks in your life right now? I'm not talking about the pandemic. When you do this work, it's personal. This is personal work. You can't say, well, what sucks is the pandemic. Okay, yeah, but you have no control over that. What sucks inside you? Another way to answer this question is, in the moments that you are alone, just sitting with yourself. I hope you spend some time alone, reflecting in your life. On those moments that you're alone, what are the thoughts? What are you feeling? What are you doing? So think about what is not working in your life, and then why it's not working. What is the evidence? Create an evidence of what's not working. How do you know it's not working? This really helps you to understand your own life and start making changes. When you basically put a light on those issues and what's not working in your life, just by doing that, you start moving forward. Actually, you cannot make a change on something that you don't understand. So when you ask what's not working, why it's not working, how do you know it's not working? Create an evidence for yourself. And then ask this tough question. What are the consequences of not making any change in that area in your life? Let's say you recognize what's not working, why it's not working, the evidence, and what are the consequences? Where will you be in 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years, if you make absolutely no change? It's such an important question to answer. It's important for you to feel in a visceral way in your body what it feels like in 10 years if you don't make any changes, right? Second exercise. What is your heart longing for? Second exercise is going to involve more reflection, and not a reflection coming from your intellectual mind. More a reflection in your heart where you allow yourself to feel. Some of you might be in such a state of chaos and stress and anxiety that you're not even feeling. You're numbing yourself maybe with too much work, with too much TV, with too much social media, maybe too much food, maybe too much alcohol, I don't know. So number one, allow yourself to feel and ask yourself, what is my heart longing for? And when you do this exercise, I'm going to encourage you to really drop down. Maybe you take a bath, go find a quiet spot, do a little breath work, maybe a guided meditation for 5 minutes, something to shift your brain waves, something to quiet your mind a little bit, not empty, just quiet a little bit. And then put your hand in your heart as I'm speaking to you. Put your hand in your heart and ask, I'm speaking to you, beloved heart. What are you longing for? And listen. Create the space, the pause, and listen. Most likely, your heart is not going to say, I want more money, I want more stuff, I want more time on social media, I want to get busier, I want, something related to material. Most likely, your heart is not going to say that. That's not the language of the heart. Your heart might say things like, I want to feel more love. Okay. So then I'm going to give you some suggestion here. If your heart, when you ask, what's my heart longing for? And the answer is love. Then I ask you, what can you start doing today that helps you to feel more love towards yourself? Not hoping, expecting somebody else to meet that love need. This is about you. This is about you learning how to fulfill your needs and desires. And then you receive from others. You got to learn how to fulfill yourself first. So if your heart is saying, I want more love, I want you to answer this question for yourself. What can you start doing today that will be an evidence of more love for yourself? Might be taking a bath, might be taking a nap, it might be reading a spiritual growth book, just making the time to read a book, period. How can you gift love to yourself? That cannot be dependent on your pets, on people, on things, on you. Your heart might say, I just want to rest. I just want to feel some quiet and peace. Okay, great. What can you start doing today to give your heart some peace, some quiet? Might be all your heart is asking you, because your heart is also your body speaking to you. Your body's begging for some rest. So take a break, take a pause, 5 minutes to just breathe and be present. 5 minutes where you just lay on the floor and take a nap, or just close your eyes. The best place to surrender is the floor. I have laid on this floor a lot of times to surrender and let go completely. Your heart might say, I long for fulfillment. I'm longing for inspiration. What can you start doing today that will start inspiring you a little bit? It might be, again, reading a book, listening to a beautiful piece of music, listening to a spiritual teacher like Wayne Dwyer or Eckhart Tolle or Pema Chödrön, learning from the teachers, Tara Brach, amazing teachers. And if you need any recommendation, just send me a note. But notice how even when I speak about the heart, which is really a talk about spirituality, the tone of my voice changes, the speed of my voice changes, my physiology changes, because in order to connect with our hearts, we need to slow down, and we need to be gentle, and we need to bring the feminine energy out, right? Watch some of my videos. There's a very strong masculine energy there, and the masculine energy has served me tremendously. It's a beautiful energy, and most of us have been operating with that masculine energy a lot. It has nothing to do with gender. It has to do with universal forces that balance the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine. The masculine is the doer. Let's go. It's the high achiever. Let's make it happen. Let's make a vision into manifestation. It's the fire. And then the feminine is the creator. The feminine, it's the creator of the idea. It's the incubator of the idea. It's the energy that holds the idea until it's ready for birth. The feminine, it's the one that nurtures the idea, the one that puts the hours reading and maybe writing, meditating, honoring the heart, caring, nurturing. That's the feminine energy. We've been operating so much with masculine energies, and my book that I'm writing right now, that I got very inspired to write to this process of surrender, I got this whole concept that we high achievers lost the connection with our hearts. And I could go much longer in this video, and I don't even know how much time we are already together here. So I'm gonna end this video by inviting you to really surrender and maybe drop your agenda as well. Those were just the words that came to me. Create a question yourself, right? If you're struggling with something and it's a constant place of struggle, that means you have to drop your ways because they're not working. That's the first sign of courage is to admit that something is not working. And if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting different results, as Einstein said, it's insanity, isn't it? And it took me about 5-6 years as an entrepreneur to get to this point here. So I'm trying to give you a shortcut here. I cried a lot. I struggled a lot. And I'll tell you right now, success has nothing to do with doing. Success has way more to do with being, and then you bring the doing part. So that's what I want to share with you. Do those 2 exercises. Surrender. What's not working in your life? Why it's not working? How do you know it's not working? What's the consequence of not changing and keep doing the same thing over and over? That's the first exercise. Second exercise, place your hand in your heart, close your eyes and ask, what are you longing for? And I dare you, will you listen? I dare you to listen. Thank you so much, and look forward to share another message with you.